Do you like comic books, video games, movies, and television? Are you way more interested in fictional superheroes than actual human beings or real life? Do you like listening to people discuss these topics for roughly an hour or two at a time?
Well, if you liked when this asshole did it alone, you're gonna love me.
This is the intro to our podcast, ain't it? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bat in the Hat podcast, where we dive deep into all things nerd. My name is Marno Vu, and with me, as always, is Matt. Just Matt. What's up, Matt?
Yo, man. What's up? Hey, why are we here?
We are here because we went. First of all.
Yeah, first of all, why am I even here?
That's a phenomenal question, and I
you.
want to thank you so much for asking me that, because it leads me right to my next point. Or the first point.
The only point.
So we wanted to do a really quick, this is going to be a really short kind of podcast blurb episode where we had to talk about something. Our next official podcast episode doesn't come out until next week. But last night on, what's today? What's today's date? Last night was Tuesday. Today's Wednesday.
Today is the 15th. So
okay, so on the 14th, Tuesday the 14th, the Crisis on Infinite Earths special for the CW shows for the Arrowverse ended. They had their last two episodes last night, and we kind of got smacked in the face with a couple of things, and we had to talk about them. We knew that if we had waited till next week when our normal episode came out, that it would not be as zesty. Matt, would you say zesty is a fine term?
I don't know. I think we all got lulled into it, honestly,
right,
because it was like, hey, and I'd been wondering from the beginning, and it made sense to me last night. I was like, why have they revealed so many cameos for this show before it premiered? Like, before the event premiered. I mean, we knew about Conroy, we knew about Ralph.
Right.
And a lot of all made sense after
some
last
people
night.
had said, like, just like you're saying, they said, oh, they've got to be saving something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the negative Nelly. I was the one saying, no, fuck that. They don't have anything huge. They sure did.
I never expected it to be on this level. This is a game changer.
This is a game changer. This is one of the first times that we've ever seen this both across Marvel and DC. And that is that last night, Barry Allen met Barry Allen. But the Barry Allen that our Barry Allen met was Ezra Miller from the DC Extended Universe, from Justice League. He wasn't in Batman v Superman. He had a cameo, right?
Yeah.
But from the main movie universe, and they have never crossed over the TV and movie universes. But sure enough, that was the big dog. That was Ezra Miller in full Flash gear, who had accidentally crossed into his universe,
which was crazy because, like, you had a great point just now, and I don't know if you meant to, but it wasn't just like it's Ezra Miller in street clothes.
No, he was
wearing
Flash.
his full-on movie Flash suit.
So what I want to do real quick is I want to take a few seconds to talk about the possible implications for what we saw.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's on our new and improved. We just put up our new Instagram page, and it is at BatHatPod. So go check out our new Instagram. Of course, check out our Facebook and Twitter, both of which you can find just by searching our names, the Bat in the Hat Podcast, or at BatHatPod, or at BatHatOfficial. I know it's confusing. We're not good at this. But go check out the picture. I'm sure you'll see it all over social media. But it's Ezra Miller in his Flash gear next to Grant Gustin in his Flash gear. And
how wholesome was that scene too,
well, not only was it wholesome where they met and they were kind of like, oh, this, and Ezra Miller's very goofy and lovable. Yeah. I think Grant Gustin had more of a serious reputation by now of not being as like goofy. But what was interesting is something that I noticed immediately, which Grant Gustin's Flash said, how is this possible? And the reason he said this, he's used to meeting other Flashes. He met the 90s Flash, and he met some, but at this point, the entire multiverse was supposed to have been destroyed. There were no other universes that this Flash could come from. So the implications of that are, where did this Flash come from? What universe or a separate multiverse does the DCEU multiverse sit in, and how did they meet?
Yep. And you know what's great is because, so to me, to be honest, this is DC taking a shot at like Marvel's throat.
Yeah.
Saying, hey,
100%.
It's our time now. And this is how it starts. Because you know how so recently they've been saying, we've always known there's going to be a Flash movie, which then we found out it'd be a Flashpoint movie. Which,
right.
We're not shocked by that.
And now we know that it's going to be soon, and that it's continuing to happen.
And then recently they said, hey, this is a different take on Flashpoint.
Yes.
And then they hit us with this, and you're like, oh my God. So my first thought was, we're going to see Stephen Amell as Green Arrow in a freaking movie. Like, I'm
well, so I didn't think that. What I did think is, and we talked about this over text last night, I think that this scene, it's very possible that if we're dealing with Flashpoint stuff, this scene is going to end up in the movie as well, and it's going to intersect.
Well, so, and that's funny too, because think about it. No matter what, so they've established a multiverse, so they could easily say Joaquin Phoenix is connected, Robert Pattinson's connected. When I say connected, I'm just saying the multiverse.
All right, so that's the thing, is DC's flagship concept has always been a multiverse.
Yeah.
Even way more than Marvel.
That allows you to have more explorative creativity.
Right.
And,
So we know, just by the law, like, just if you're going by law of, like, physics or law of whatever the fuck you want to call it, science, #science,
law of science,
that the Joker, that the Pattinson, they're all different universes in the multiverse. We just don't know where they sit yet, because we don't know what they're going to group into one universe.
But this is the first time where they clearly showed you, they're like, in our live action properties, the multiverse is real.
It was acknowledged.
And I loved it too, because when you said, Grant Gustin said, how's this possible? And then Ezra said, Vic said this might happen. Or he said, I told
Victor this is possible.
Or yeah.
And I thought that was amazing.
Dude, that was so good.
I also found it interesting with all the news of them saying they're not making a Cyborg movie and stuff like. I found it interesting that he mentioned Victor by name.
I feel like maybe he might not get his own movie, but what's to say that he's not in Flashpoint?
No, I know. I just thought that it was interesting. And so Cyborg was a big part of Flashpoint. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was trying to get to real quick. So I agree with you. So the odds that, because think of it this way, Flashpoint movie, right? And then like you said, it's very possible that the scene we saw last night is in Flashpoint.
Right. We might get it in the movie.
And what's to say that scene where Barry went back to Bruce Wayne in BVS isn't? I think that'd be great, because it shows all of it. Remember when he comes back to him and he says, "Bruce, I'm too soon."
That was originally part of the
whole
plan.
idea.
Right.
I'm just hoping that since they've moved on from that maybe they don't give up on it completely.
Right.
Just be like, look, it's a multiverse. It all still happened. It all still exists.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think that's really cool. So not only we also got two other really great cameos that I wanted to talk about, because it's all kind of connected. We got to see, and I swear it was clips from the Ryan Reynolds movie, but we did get to see the first acknowledgement of actual Green Lanterns, because we saw a lantern leaving the Earth on whatever, I don't remember what Earth they said it was, but it was a different universe. We saw the lantern leaving Earth. We saw him fly to Oa, and then we saw the Guardians, like an actual shot of the Guardians. And then the reason I say it had to have been from the Ryan Reynolds movie is because the big lantern symbol carved out of like the emerald rock was sitting there, and I was like, that was straight from the movie, the Green Lantern. But
hey, but at least they did.
Yeah, very cool. It was the first like true acknowledgement of the lanterns. I don't know if anyone else noticed. Again, they've been teasing that John Diggle is John Stewart, and there was a rumor saying that, well, John Diggle's stepfather, his last name is Stewart. So there could be a thing if they kind of put in the back door. If they wanted to have him start going by John Stewart, or just backdoor away that he is the same person, they could do that. But John Diggle's suit, for what he's been doing lately, has had more and more green. And if you watch the Crisis Event, when he's in the broad light, his suit is completely green.
Didn't they acknowledge it already earlier? Didn't
they
say,
did.
John, where's your ring?
Right. So when John Wesley's ship, when his 90s Flash came through the Speed Force and kind of made it to the Arrowverse's Earth, what they're considering is Earth Prime, which is also very interesting, because now knowing that the movie Flash and this Flash are in the same multiverse, they listed the Arrowverse Flash as Earth Prime. So I wonder if that means that all of the DCEU movies are not Earth Prime.
Well, they're listing themselves as Earth Prime.
Right.
So
that's okay. That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Who the fuck knows how the Arrowverse works, or how the multiverse works?
So the biggest takeaway I took from this cameo is that they did exactly what they needed to do. Where they're just like, look, biggest, like you said, the biggest draw about DC has always been the multiverse.
Right.
Different stories of the same characters we love, different possibilities. And they legit put it on screen last night in the most epic fashion and said, it's real, we got you, and you haven't seen anything yet.
And
so
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
stoked, dude.
Not only that, but my favorite cameo was right at the end. So so obviously this whole thing is big spoilers, and I'm gonna make sure I put spoilers in the title for this. But right at the end, Barry and Kara are standing together on the pier, right? And they're like just realizing that their worlds have been merged. So now Supergirl, Batwoman, and the Flash are all on the same Earth, which is cool. But somebody approaches them and wants an autograph, and he hands it out, and I go, that no fucking way. And he goes, make it out to Marv. It was Marv Wolfman, the original writer of Crisis on Infinite Earths, who has made some of the most, the creator, him and George Perez together.
I know one character in particular that Marv had a hand in.
I was going to say, one of the greatest creative teams in all of DC Comics. They created, obviously they did the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths event.
Yep.
They created the Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans. I don't think they created the original team. They did the new Teen Titans, and created who?
Deathstroke.
That team.
I will always be in debt to
Marv
that man.
Wolfman is one of my favorite people, and just seeing his face, I instantly kind of perked up. It was like, that's Marv Wolfman. And when he said, make it out to Marv, I kind of geeked a little.
So, and I've said this before, and we've talked about this, like, the CW shows, I fell out of them a long time ago.
Right.
They're very One Tree Hill to me. I don't dig it. Did this event have that same kind of feel at times? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But do I appreciate the strides they made, what they tried to do, and ultimately, I'm sorry, but that Ezra Miller cameo,
I can't get over it. It honestly was just so big, and again, the implications it could have. Who knows what it's gonna do to the future of TV and movies when it comes to DC.
And now, like I said earlier, where it was like, it's almost like DC was like, let's go for the throat. Like, let's.
Right.
So I was reading about it, and we already know this, but like a lot of people jumped on this right away. They're like, Marvel never really had the guts to do this. Like, they always implied they would with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, and they
like
did
that.
cross over some characters into Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be canon to the MCU.
But they never like directly, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
in the fashion that they did it
they
last
didn't have
night,
Thor straight up hit
they would
Agents
have
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
never done that. But so kudos to DC. Like, there's no secret, guys, that we love DC.
Yeah.
But when I saw what I saw last night, I just respectfully, I don't know who's responsible for it. I just give it to him as a whole. That was a huge step.
Yeah.
That was massive.
So I think that's big. We also got news. I feel like I'm forgetting what the we have news of a new mini series happening on HBO Max, right?
The Lantern? Well, the Lantern.
Well, we knew that the Lantern Corps was going to be a mini series on HBO Max, but didn't they announce something else for HBO Max, or am I kind of crazy?
They've always rumored that the Snyder Cut might be on there. We got the Lantern series. Well, they did confirm that the Lantern series is going to have 2 Earth Lanterns and Sinestro. Maybe you're thinking of that. I don't know. Which I think is badass, because I'm hoping it's, obviously Hal and John.
Yeah, I just honestly thought that there was a I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of something else, but the we are going to have the Green Lantern Corps mini series. Am I saying that right? Is it Corps? Green Lantern Corps?
It's just like Marine Corps.
I know, and I never say it right.
Spelled plural.
I never say it right when I say Marine
but...
Corps. So we know we're going to have the Green Lantern Corps show, and that's going to be pretty awesome. And we also know that that's going to be brought to us by Greg Berlanti, who is in charge of the CW stuff. So I'm just really fascinated to see if all of this is going to have impact on each other. Now, I'm not saying that the movies and the TV shows are necessarily going to cross over more, but what it did do was break a barrier.
Oh, yeah.
It broke a barrier saying that, okay, we're not totally afraid now to reference something or to mix things or to acknowledge that they're both here,
See, and like what I was saying earlier, and this could be even just the slightest cameo fashion, because you're right. They just showed their hand where they said, we're not scared to do something of this magnitude, right?
Right.
So what I'm thinking is, in Flashpoint, there could be a scene, well, we all know when Barry runs through the Speed Force, you see some weird stuff, right? So
Right.
I'm thinking in the movie, the feature film, I would not be surprised if Barry's running through the Speed Force and he does kind of like what they did in Rise of Skywalker when they were skip jumping or whatever in Lightspeed. And like he pops out in one universe and there's Stephen Amell.
Right.
Pops out in another. And you know what I mean? It's quick. Like it's not like they're in the movie for a long time.
I found the thing that I was thinking of, by the way. They did announce another miniseries. There's going to be an Aquaman miniseries starring Jason Momoa on HBO Max.
Oh.
And James Wan is coming back to direct that.
Wow, I had no idea.
So, and the reason I was excited about that when I heard that announcement is, again, we're now crossing this border of they can be film actors and they can also do kind of like Marvel. Marvel has a lot of their big film actors. They're going to be in shows on Disney Plus. That's amazing because now we're getting more of them. They're getting paid more and we get more continuity and story together.
I will say this. I literally had a conversation about it today. Marvel, Netflix proved with Daredevil and Punisher, at least, everybody might have different preferences. These characters, if you give them a series rather than a movie, they can be fleshed out.
Right.
And the impact and the story can just
well,
be
and so I
much
think that's
better.
why I'm such a big fan of the idea that they're doing both,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because we can have the big cinematic, big budget movies.
Oh, yeah.
And then we can have series or mini-series that'll flesh them out way more.
And it's almost like, I don't want to say filler, that's not a good word, but like you said, it can flesh them out in the series. Like,
right.
give us the backstory, and then the movies could be reserved for like the big events and things like that.
Right.
There is one other thing I want to talk about too, real fast. You and I have already discussed it, obviously. With Titans, they did announce in the next season that they will be featuring
Roy Harper,
Calderon, also known as Aqualad, and Roy Harper, who has already been...
Wait, how did you say his name? What's his name?
Calderon?
Yeah, I think that's right, but I don't know why it sounds so foreign to me. It's Calderon, right? Calderon?
No, they call him Calder, but...
Right. Okay, I don't know.
I probably just said it real quick. But anyways, Aqualad
skipped.
and Red Arrow, Arsenal, take your pick. But they did mention Roy already. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
In Titans, yeah, because she looked at her phone
Donna.
and she was Donna got a text message from Roy.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be cool.
Sick. Love it.
Let me say a quick word on that. The more I go back and watch Titans, the worse it is to me. I'm sort of almost losing my faith in the show. Because the more
you're just mad about the finale in the second
nope
season.
On second viewing when you go back and really watch it. So there's a YouTuber I'm a big fan of. His name is High Top Films, and he does like a lot of he's one of those film school pricks who's like, I went to film school, so he does analysis on everything, and he did analysis, and all of his videos about the Titans have been super negative. And the first couple ones I always watched and I'd be like, no, I disagree with most of these points. And then he did his finale like, this is just awful. And he was making a lot of really good points where I was like, fuck, I don't know if this show is good or not, but I still enjoy it. I'm really excited for the next season because I want it to be awesome.
Have you ever noticed that people like that, they can always, especially if they're film school pricks, they can always warp the narrative and presentation to make their point seem more...
They can also find the negative
valid.
In things, It's not even necessarily warping it, but they find the bad things,
Don't change on me, man. Titans was
I know,
good.
I know
you're upset about the finale. I get it. I was too.
I'm in. I'm still in for season 3, but
all right.
We just talking about Flashpoint. I'm really excited about whatever's coming next. I think that it could seriously be big. The Crisis finale did not disappoint. I really enjoyed every bit of it. Oh, and then the last thing about that is we got at the very end. They were back in that like hangar that used to be. Not, I think it was a Star Labs facility, not like Argus or
Ferris
anything.
Air? Was it Ferris Air?
No, they were in a facility. It looked like a hangar, and they were like, oh, it's an old Star Labs. And he goes and Flash is kind of talking to everybody. And again, they're all on the same Earth, and he pulls the curtain off this big table, and it's got the Justice League of America symbol, and all of the chairs have their symbols inscribed into them, including an Arrow chair, which I assume his daughter Mia will take over. And when it shows the outer shot, it is the Hall of Justice, and it was the same shape as the Hall of Justice. So that was like the start of the actual Justice League for this Arrowverse, which is pretty cool. And then we got not only that, but they heard a monkey. They like just heard weird monkey sounds, and you heard something break, and then it shows this cage that a monkey was in, and it said Gleek. And if you remember the old Super Friends, they had a pet monkey. The Wonder Twins had a pet monkey called Gleek, and it was just like the monkey pet of the weirdest fucking thing. I don't know why they would decide to do that here, but I'm pretty excited to see, because in the current Wonder Twins thing, Gleek is kind of a savage. So I'm interested, but yeah, I know this is short. It's only like 20 minutes, but we wanted to thank you guys again, like we do every episode, because we just had to talk about this. I did not want to wait. For next week just to get it out. But quick plugs, make sure you go check out, like I said, our new Instagram is up at BatHatPod. Twitter, of course, is at BatHatOfficial. Facebook is facebook.com/The Bat in the Hat Podcast. And check us out on social media. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. We have the YouTube channel up now, which
comment, message.
I was going to say, we have the YouTube channel up now, which is youtube.com, and then you can search us, The Bat in the Hat. But we can't, you know what's weird? I can't get a custom URL like youtube.com/ until we have a certain subscriber count. So go fucking subscribe to our YouTube channel so I can get a custom URL and make it easier. The Bat in the Hat Podcast on YouTube.
Debut video is on the way, guys.
I was going to say, we just finished filming a big portion of the debut video. It's going to be out by the end of this month, guys. So get ready. And again, thank you so much. Matt, you got anything else to say to the nice people?
No, man. Just thanks for everybody. Hope you guys are excited as we are. Big things on the horizon. Stay blessed. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. National champions, baby.
I'm not a Tigers fan, but I love how excited Matt is about it.
I am.
Seriously, congrats. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Other than that, all right. Good night, Matt's mom.
All right. Bye-bye.